Okay, so if you're wondering how I managed to film that smooth rotation around this little Android figurine, the trick is I use something called MUWI. So it's basically a motorized slider. So today I'm going to do a review of the MUWI. I've actually had it for a couple of months now, and I've never had the chance to use it until recently. I used it to shoot some of the product B-roll that you may have seen on the A7 III unboxing. And I'm gonna take a look inside and see what's there. So the packaging of this thing can only be described with one word: crap. So inside they just stuffed it full of foam. They have some instructions here, and then they just shoved foam everywhere. So instead of making a nice packaging for this, they just put foam everywhere to try and protect it as much as they could. So the first thing you see is foam, more foam, and foam. And more foam. They also give you some USB cables. So this is I guess it's like a micro to micro USB cable. I'm not sure what this is for. This might be for controlling the camera. So if you do have a camera, you can plug in this from the side of this is the motorized bit, and then directly into your camera. So I think that's what this is for, though I don't think I have a compatible camera, so I couldn't use this. So I'll put this aside with the foam. They also give you a charging micro USB cable, so you can actually charge the MUWI using this cable as well. And this is the slider bit. So this part here is made of plastic. It's not motorized. The motor is in this thing, and I'll show you how to attach this in a minute. And then they also give you a remote. So this remote uses infrared, just like a TV remote, and then you can point it at the motorized bit, which is the receiver is over here, and then you can change the speed that it slides at, and then you can also pause it. You're meant to be able to like start and stop your camera as well, but of course that requires you plugging in the MUWI into the camera, which I haven't done. So yeah, that's all the bits that come with it. The legs or the wheels of the MUWI just come out from the bottom here. So if you just pull that out, it just clicks into place. There's 4 wheels. They just click into place like this. And there is a smartphone holder up here. So you just kind of have to extend it this way, like so. And then you can prop up the rest of it like that. And then your smartphone just fits in here. So this does expand. It does fit my Pixel 3, which is pretty good, Pixel 3 XL, and then also this turns as well. So this feels a little bit loose. Overall, the build quality is questionable, is what I would say, but it does do the job. So after these wheels are extended, you can actually pivot them or turn them, and they do move together. So if you just swing the bottom part, the top will move with it. So that does mean that you'll get a nice circular movement after you turn these wheels. So in this kind of position, if you put it on the table, and then I'll just hold it down and push it, you see it does do a nice, smooth, circular path. The bad thing is there's no like degrees or anything, there's no markings on it, so you don't actually know how tight of a radius this is. The only way to tell is to put it on the table and then just spin it and then try and position your product in the middle. It's a bit of trial and error. I wish there was a better way of doing this, but this MUWI doesn't give you any other way. To attach the motor, so the motor goes on just like this. So there are 2 notches. There's notches on either side really. So you can just clip it onto any side you want and it just goes straight in. And that's it. So I've now attached the motor. Now when you start it, you just hold the button until the light turns on. There are 2 modes. There is the green mode and then there's a red mode. So the green mode is like super slow, and then the red mode is a bit faster. So to change modes, you press this button up here, this 1, 2 button. You aim it at the receiver, you press it, and then red mode and green mode. So I'll just leave it in green mode for now, and I'll just show you what the initial speed is. So this is the slower speed, is that. You can barely see it moving, but I assure you, that thing is currently moving. So this is great for like time lapses. So if you're doing like a long sunset kind of time lapse, this kind of speed would be good. You can increase it. So if you press plus here, press a few times. So that's max speed. That's the max speed in green mode right now. So I'll just take it back down to 0. So right now it's stopped. I'll switch to the red mode. So this is in red mode. And then if I press plus once, you can see it's already faster than the green mode. So if I keep going, that's the max speed right now. So it's gonna go off camera. I'll just grab it back. Okay, so that's the max speed. So if you do need a faster movement, you can use the red mode and then it will move a bit faster. There are other buttons here, so I'll just put this speed back down a little bit and then start it. So there you go. So it's moving now. You can pause it with the pause button and then the thing will stop, and then you can press the arrow to keep going, and then it's moving again. You can also send it backwards, so the left one goes left, right one goes right, makes sense. So if you do need to change the movement, there is that option. And to turn it off, basically you just hold the button down until the light turns off, and then that's it, it's off. Now the MUWI does also come with like a track that you can put it on. I didn't get the track because I didn't think I would use it, but the track would be nice. If you're on an uneven surface, you can just lay the track down and then these wheels would run on it very nicely. I tried to put it on like an old wooden kind of surface, and it wasn't very good because the motor only has one contact point. So this is the motor here. If it's an uneven surface, then this doesn't get any grip, and you won't be able to push the MUWI in the direction, and then it kind of stops. And then it kind of ruins your time lapse as well. Overall, I think this product is okay, I would say. I don't think it's worth the price they're asking for. It does feel very much like a toy, but it does get the job done. So you can get some pretty interesting shots with this device. Now the major drawback is that the wheels, you know, I wish they had a bit more grip sometimes. It really depends on the surface you're using it on. Also, there are opportunity, or there's chance where this doesn't touch the ground properly. If you have a really heavy camera or a heavy phone, and then it leans towards, say, this end, then it will actually lift up the back a little bit, and then this loses grip, which is a bit of a problem. But if you balance it properly, then yeah, it works pretty well. Now, they did promise an app, and until this day, we still have not seen the app. So it's still not available. The app is meant to be able to control this thing, I think via Bluetooth, but yeah, that's still not available. So bear that in mind. The remote works really well, and just using the remote is good enough for me so far. So yeah, I can't really recommend this product, even though I find it extremely useful. Having said that, I also couldn't find any alternatives that were as small or as compact as this motorized slider. The ones I found, they all come on tracks. They don't have, you know, like this kind of portable nature. I mean, this thing folds up and fits in your pocket. So if you do need a super portable one, I guess I do recommend it. I couldn't find an alternative at this time, but if there was an alternative, this is easy to beat. I mean, they could just make this out of better materials, make the wheels a bit more high quality, maybe have an extra wheel for the motor, and then they could beat this product easily. But for the time being, it's still pretty good for what it is, but it is a little bit overpriced. So I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.